there's videos on YouTube, but going up on stage and tucking money into Mike's leather jacket because he was the biker, or my husband Dan laying on the stage and taking money. And it was the best thing. We made hundreds and hundreds of dollars in like 3 minutes. And the women loved and expected that song at the event at every single rest of the comedy luncheons that we did.
And it wasn't planned like that.
No.
I mean, they were just up there
performing.
It was just a group of guys that were just simply up there doing the YMCA. They thought that it would be a nice send-off. They didn't expect anything. And then all of a sudden it turned into this huge, it wasn't even pandemonium, but it was just the energy in that room it was incredible.
Well, but of course, the way, just like you do, Mike did everything the right way and all out. So Mike went online and found the costumes. So the guys on stage, they looked like they were true performers of the YMCA. Again, they worked on the choreography, so they were all in sync, so they didn't look goofy. But yeah, I don't know who decided, which lady in the audience decided, let's go tuck a buck, but thank you for doing that, because it was really awesome. And the guys looked forward to doing it every year, and the ladies certainly, that was the highlight of the entire event. Not the auction, not the makeovers, not anything else, not the red light specials that we did of giveaways you could buy. It was the guys being on stage and performing, and the YMCA.
Well, and yes. And so we graduated from that. So the very last big event that we did was probably at that venue. We were at the largest venue in our town. Like right. we couldn't get any bigger than what we were. And I think it was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And they started off with the same group of guys that did the YMCA. They started off with Beauty School Dropout. And then at the end, I don't think that they did the YMCA that year. They did Full Regalia Kiss.
Yes.
So they had the hair and the makeup, and they sang, I can't remember what Kiss song it was, but they sang, and it was just all out. It was crazy. What? And we had both mobile day spas inside. So not only were they doing Kiss, but we were doing makeovers in each mobile day. I mean, the thing was just huge.
It was massive. And the best part, I do believe one of the Kiss songs they did was I Wanna Rock and Roll All Night.
Yes.
And the best part, as Mike is singing, and again, Mike was a performer. He had a beautiful voice. So, of course, Mike is singing like Gene Simmons, and Red, who was the drummer, was sitting as the drummer. Now, he had a mini kids drum set, and he had a little stool, so he would act like he was playing da-da-da-da-da, and then he would pick his drum set up and turn around so people on the other side could see him drumming also, and then would do it again. Oh my gosh. And then the ladies got pictures with them afterwards.
Yes, they did. Yes, afterwards. We set them up. There was a line for them to get pictures with Kiss afterwards.
We should have charged. We should have totally charged for pictures. We didn't. There was a line of people getting pictures.
There was.
My husband loves that picture. You actually got him a poster size of the picture that they have as just the Kiss group.
That's right.
And again, they went full out.
It was awesome. And they loved it. But you know what? The next morning, I remember we would always take that day off. It was like, I always said that event was kind of like a wedding from hell, because it took you like 9-10 months to plan it. And then it was all gone in one day. And we would take the next day off. And then Monday, you would just start planning all over again.
That's right.
And you just, it never stopped. It just kept going. And so that one was so big. And so we were like, I can't top it. Like every year we would just keep topping it. I'm like, I can't top this. And so we stopped doing the big event because it got to the point where it was taking more time to plan the event than it was to build the organization.
That's right.
And so we just we did something else. But for one of the other ones that was very unique, I think part of what it is to coming up with a successful fundraiser is the uniqueness of it, doing something different. So the other one that we did, which again was so close to Michael's heart, he would get so mad when he would drive around town and people would have like those, the 5K stickers on the back of their car, or the 26.2 stickers on the back of the car. And he's like, you know what? I'm not a runner. He goes, I want one that says 0.0 or 0.5, the 0.5K. And so that's what we did. So we actually ran a fundraiser that Michael always wanted to run, and it was called the Polish Buffet and the 0.5K. And so it was just around a block. Yeah. That was the walk. It was a true walk. We had a shotgun start. They played the national anthem before the walkers got started. There was a water stand halfway around the half a block so that they could come back. When everybody came back, they were awarded a medal, which was a Reese's peanut butter cup that was on a ribbon. Yeah. And so everybody got the medal. We had this big window. It was so fun. And people fundraised for it. It was a great fundraiser. And then they came back after their walk. Then they ended up getting a Polish buffet.
That's right. That's right.
And so I think, part of it is the uniqueness now. So we just finished with an event, a golf outing.
Yes.
And again, we try and make it so that it's so good for just all of our attendees.
That's right.
And the weather was perfect. It just seemed to go. I mean, there wasn't anything. There isn't anything that we would change.
No, not at all.
It was so good.
It was so good. And again, we had to tweak things.
We did.
With COVID, there were things. It could not be the traditional golf outing that we had in the past. We had to show that we took the precautions and we did all the things to keep people as safe as possible so they could come out and enjoy themselves. To be able to be a part of it. And so it was great. Oh my gosh. Like, as you said, weather was fantastic. We had people at registration. They had their masks on. We made sure that social distancing was there. The luncheon at the end was outside. We really just took everything. We listened. We just listened.
Right. And it was a big success. And so we want to set, we've had all of these fundraisers. We've been in existence for 14 years, and we probably have done 50 fundraisers, if not more. But here's 3 of the big things that we have found that have helped us become successful event planners and fundraisers, even though that's not our main focus. Yes. But if we're not successful at fundraising, then we can't help the women that we serve.
That's right. So grab your pen and paper. You're going to want to write this down.
Right. So the number one thing that you have to do is you have to prepare.
Absolutely.
So it's all of the work that we did prior to the event that made the event successful. So when we would do the big comedy luncheons, we spent Sundays putting auction items together and taking pictures of the items so that we could do the mobile bidding. And it was all the costumes were in place. And for this last one, it was that we had somebody that alphabetized the golfers, because if they would walk up to registration and we would say what team you were on, they didn't know what team they were on. So we did it by last name so that it was easier for them. We created a sheet that was a checkout sheet. So if you wanted a mulligan or a grass skirt, we just wrote the number of items that you wanted, and then one person added all of that up and checked it out.
Right.
But it was all of the preparedness in advance. You can't just show up and throw it together.
No.
And not expect it to go smoothly.
No.
But part of our success is all of the work that we did prior to the event that made the event successful.
That's right.
The second thing that we have found it was just a huge thing was making sure that we listened.
Amen.
So talk to that point about listening.
Right. We truly wanted to make the event the best it could be. So asking questions, what did you like? What didn't you like? One of the things that was encouraged to us was that there are some pretty intense golfers that come to our event, and then there are some that are not as intense. And the intense golfers felt like it took longer because they got behind people who were just out there kind of being silly and having fun. So our team was able to put some specific golfers towards the front, so they were able to get out there and be more serious, where the other ones were able to be in the back and take their time. And that was huge. These golfers actually came up to one of our members, Amy, and just said, or she went over to them. They were the first place winner, and she went over to them and said, hey, we took what you said and we put that into play, and they just raved and were just so appreciative that that was the fastest golf outing that they had done, and it was great. The second one was we were planning on doing food inside the country club. But due to COVID, so many people were concerned that we were able to listen to them and took that in advance. So we made sure that the breakfast food was outside and pre-boxed and ready, and that the lunch food, same thing. Everything was outside, so you were able to social distance.
And that one actually was to the point of number 3,
yes,
which was being flexible.
Absolutely.
So you have to prepare. You need to, in advance, then you need to listen to what your guests say and meet their needs. And then the third one was be flexible, especially during COVID this year. We didn't have a choice except to be flexible.
That's right.
If you're too rigid, then there's no way that it can be a successful event.
You are so right. And to be able to have a great team. So the Knollwood Country Club that we work with, that team is so amazing, and they are so willing to adapt where they can. that was huge because we did have to be flexible.
Right.
You do have to be able to make it work.
That's right. Well, thank you. I'm excited that we got to do this together. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We are almost out of time, so I just want to say thank you to Trisha. And if you have any questions or want to know more about fundraising or help fundraising, you can reach out to me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org. You can visit our website to learn more about Hello Gorgeous, which is www.hellogorgeous.org. And we invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, everything beauty, cancer, and inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker. And until next time, stay gorgeous.